Welcome to the True That Show, a show about lifepreneurship presented with wit, humor, and banter by Deborah Drummond and Caroline Blanchard. A lifepreneur is someone who's living life the way an entrepreneur runs their business. All in. Lifepreneurs are rock stars. Lifepreneurs are people who are brave, who risk, who live full on, who think out of the box, who win this thing called life. Lifepreneurs are around us every day. They are everyday heroes. Join Deborah and Caroline, these two stage-walking women who tell it like it is. You'll learn from the most incredible lifepreneurs who will inspire you to be the best version of you. Now here are your hosts.
Hello, welcome back everybody to another amazing interview of the True That Show. I am so excited today because I love when we get to introduce people and they share and they are in growth themselves. And so she's back. Oh man, this woman is going to blow you away with what she's done from the last time when she shared about coming in and just taking care of people in a way that I haven't really seen before. Like this woman's coaching style, the way, and I mean, I don't want to give it all away. Karen's like, don't give it away. Because I get pretty excited when I see the best of people being brought forward. So I'm not going to talk too much about that yet. I'm going to have a little conversation with Caroline because of course, me and Caroline, well, I don't know. I think we should probably pay each other for the amount of therapy we do between us. We've been each other's coaches and therapists and mentors for a long time. And so one of the things that we recognize that this woman has a massive skill in is when people start to get to that place within themselves that they just kind of can't get themselves past themselves. You know, we were just sharing and I'm like, there's sometimes when, for me, when I know I start to kind of think inside and I'm kind of grappling for how do I get myself out of this place? What are the tools that you use? Who are the people that you call? What are the things that you do to kind of get yourself from kind of sinking inside? That's always my clue to go outside. And that's when I'm going to call this lady because man, she can move people. But Caroline, what do you do? What do you do when you start to feel like you don't know what to do?
Oh, goodness. Well, it depends which phase of my life you would ask me that into. When I was a bit younger, there's tons of things that I would do. Now, what do? I'll reach out to, people that I trust, people that I know have a great wisdom about life and about business. You are one of those people. Yes, people, I'm doing a compliment to Deborah, but so I have good friends that I will call, but I think that, recognizing when you're stuck, and I was joking before the interview saying, I think I've been stuck my whole life, since I'm probably 2 or 3, since I know how to talk, but, it doesn't only have a negative connotation to be stuck. If I'm stuck so often, I also think it's because I'm pushing myself so much that, I've rarely stayed in status quo. So when you're not in status quo, you will push yourself to go to the next level, which means you will push yourself outside of your comfort zone, which means, you get to a place of like, oh my goodness, what do I do now? Because it becomes uncharted territory. So that's probably why I'm joking that I'm often stuck, because I'm good at saying yes to things that I have no idea how to do. And then I just go ahead and do them. But now that I'm a bit older and a bit wiser, I get stuck for different reasons, but I think that the major part is to really be able to recognize it and not to see it as a weakness. Being stuck is not a weakness. And when you don't see it as a weakness, you can actually go out and seek help, seek advice, talk about it. And Deb and I have those very deep conversation about deep subject. And we have them if we would talk about, hey, did you put peanut butter on your toast this morning? Because it's just for us, it's not a big deal. We talk about it. So for other people, we may seem intense sometimes. But yeah. What about you, Deb? When is the last time you got stuck?
Well, the last time I got stuck was probably about an hour and a half ago, actually, if we're being transparent. I got a little, I talked to you last night about not feeling so good about some things. And And I went to bed with it, and I woke up and I was like, man, I got to shake this off. And I love that you talked about it in a positive spin, because when you know who you are, when you know your natural state of joy, you know you're out of it. And so there was times in my life where I think I just got up and did and had some smiles and maybe had some nods, but I didn't really know myself enough to know when I wasn't in a good place. And so for me this morning, I knew you were busy, so I had to call Steve Harvey. I think I measure my not okayness. So this morning I was having a little bit of just about some stuff that's going on in the world. It wasn't anything that I had control over, which is more of a challenge, because when there's stuff going on outside of you and you don't have any control on it, the first thing I have to tell myself is you don't have any control on this, but the only thing you have control on is your reaction and your feelings. So you better shift your state, right? And so I audio messaged a friend of mine who is at work and can't call me back, right? So someone knew how I was feeling. And then as I was getting ready, I put on Steve Harvey, because he's been my latest tool for pushing me past. I love his story. And I was listening to that. And then honestly, I just took a big swig of apple cider vinegar and told myself to get it together. So there's because it was just those little things. And I have, like, honestly, when I interview a lot, look at this. My daughter made that for me when she was about 4. It was a chakra bracelet. It's all kind of hanging. Now I know that you're not listening. You're listening, not watching. But what I'm doing is I've got a bracelet that my daughter, when she was 4, and I just have it here when I interview or when I'm not feeling my best, and I just kind of have it in my hand. So I'm a token person. I got stuff all over my office. I got our book sitting here to the side. I got some things that just will imprint goodness in my life. But man, when I really love what you said, because there's times in my life where I'm rocking it in my business, but I'm maybe stuck in a personal issue, or I'm doing really well in my physical goals, but my business is like, man, I can't get myself past myself, right? This woman is the kind of woman that you want to call. And honestly, I'm super happy not even to call her just a person. She's a friend, and we've had some great conversations, and this woman kind of rocks it. So I want to get it over to, who wouldn't call Marleen Redhead? This is the woman's name. If that doesn't put a smile on your face, right? And so I'm so excited to announce, Marleen, that you are open for a business. So please tell our listeners what it is you're doing for people.
Thank you so much, Deb. Thank you so much, Caroline. I like to say it in French, Caroline. I am Marleen Redhead, your inspiration coach. And like Deb just said, I'm here to instill in you what you already have in you. Just like Deb said, it's already in you, but maybe it's been buried by burdens and hindrances and issues and problems. So that's why it's not exploding as it should, because it's meant to explode. And I'm here to take you through the steps of my inspiration model, a self-developed model that helps professionals get unstuck in order to get crystal clear about their dream. And when you're crystal clear, you can write it down. You can emphasize. You can already see yourself as that actor, astronaut, dancer, whatever, right? So I'm here to help. I'm here to coach. I'm here to encourage. And I'm here, as the model is called, inspire, because you already have it. So let's get it out. Let's pull it out.
I think that's fabulous, because Caroline, how many times have you been asked, and when people and you jam up sometimes, even people that are clear, it's like, so what do you do? So what's your business about? So what is it that you want? And people kind of go, and they put it and they start kind of, 3 sentences, 4 sentences, 5 sentences, 6 sentences, right? But man, when you get crystal clear, do you start attracting different things to you, right? Caroline, I know you were going to say something.
Yeah, just hearing that, I just had a flash of like, wait a second, she said for business people, like to help people move further or stuck. But I think this is applicable for everyone. It's almost something they should teach in school, that's when I clicked, is when you said astronaut, because it's rare that at 40 you're like, oh, I think I want to be an astronaut. Usually it's like a kid's dream. But imagine if we would teach our kids at a young age to be crystal clear about a vision and that they're going there, and keep inspiring them all their life, of course they would, not necessarily end up there. But I mean, when you put an address in your GPS, at least you're going somewhere, and I think, sorry, I'm completely sidetracking here, but I just think this should be also, and maybe that's your next business project, Marleen, that should also be, especially for teenagers, because I feel like, and especially in our days now, like as adults, we struggle and we have a hard time having a clear vision with all of the changes that are happening. Imagine teenagers when you're already all mixed up because you're there, and then you're like, so anyway, back to the adults. I love how, we say, put your things with clarity. And that's such a simple sentence, but honestly, I've been trying to do it for years. And when I'm saying trying to do it, I'm doing it, but I don't think it's ever something that is perfect, and it's always something that needs to be worked. But it's quite a process. So Marleen, how do you take someone to really instill clarity in their life? Because that's not a small mission.
And you're right. It is not. But it is, however, the first step. You don't want to, think about it. You crawl before you walk, and then you walk before you jog, and then you jog before you run. I'm sorry, that was my phone. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is there's steps to everything. So you already have that big dream that but it takes steps to get to that dream. So that's going back to my inspiration model. That's what I'm going to show you. Write down your plan, what you need for the plan, like mentoring, coaching, or courses, whatever. And let's break it down. Because when you break it down, not only does it come clearer, it becomes feasible. It becomes possible. Because right now, you're stuck because you don't see a way out, like you said. Oh, it's impossible. How can I? Talk to me. Let me be that support. Let me be that direction. Let me be that, can I say compass? Because the compass will direct you where you need to go. So that we do it together.
What I want to add here is that Deb is like very used to coaching. I'm not. I've always been like, I can do it on my own. So if I would hear you, I would be like, I'll take a sheet of paper and I'll do exactly what she said. I'll write this. So what's crucial in having a coach is that, first of all, if you're stuck in your vision and you're trying to write it out, you will write it in a way that is stuck. And I'm talking by personal experience here. You're writing it out in a way that it's stuck. You're not having an external vision, and you're not having anyone to keep you accountable. So I think that's where you come in as well. It's not only to give you the, few steps to follow. It's actually do them with an external vision.
For me, I'm having a Napoleon Hill moment. And I've read the book 7 times. I turned it into a workbook before there was one. It was one of the books that I read in my 20s. And there's a part in his book that really, like, if you can drive that home, and I think why I'm such an advocate of coaching, therapy, counseling, emotional, I don't care what it is, right? Whatever you want to call it, is that it's a very powerful statement that when you put 2 minds together, there becomes a third. And so there becomes a very strong we, because when I'm talking to Marleen and I'm like, you know what, I know I want to have this business. I know that, this has happened, and I can see myself in this direction, but you can only see yourself in your vision to a certain point, right? And then when you have someone else that can help lay out the steps, the power of we is so powerful because we, in our own minds, there's like 2 people. I don't know who you guys talk to in the morning, but when I'm in the bathroom, I'm talking to me, right? There's 2 of me. And it's funny, you see movies like there's the angel on one shoulder and then there's the other non-angel on the other, right? Like, I can do it. No, I can't. Oh my gosh, I can borrow money from so-and-so. No, you can't. You didn't pay off your visa last month. You're like, you got so much stuff going on. That person that gets to come back at you makes you feel like you have a united, like some of the most powerful coaching that I've had when I've been working with one person, I felt like I had a frigging team behind me. I felt like I had, and I know how Marleen works, right? You feel like you've got someone pushing you forward and your voice becomes a voice, right? And you feel like you've got someone on this mission, and all of a sudden you feel like you got a banker and a marketer. And even though they don't bring all of those skills, you feel that. And then Marleen, you got to tell us, I know that this is your thing. When people get clear, what kind of vibration are they holding? What do they start attracting when you start working with someone like you?
Once we've done that, because it is the we, right? It is that we. So I'm going back to the support. I don't want to dismiss that because that is huge. How many people don't have support? How many people don't have that accountability factor? So I don't want to forget about I'm here. Literally, I'm here. And I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. And I'm here to help you because we're both, in hindsight, helping one another. Because I'm still in that journey. I'm still living it out. I'm still doing that. So when I call you, Deb, and when I call my friend, whatever, we talk about things that concerns us and bothers us. And why is it I'm hitting this plateau? Why is there a glass ceiling, right? So when you get into my coaching, it's not just do this, do that, and I'll talk to you later. It's let's work this out together. Let's truly think. Let's truly break it down, because it's all about breaking it down, right? And I'm thinking on top of that, it's a patience thing, right? You want this money, you want this job right away. There's a patience thing. So on top of the steps, it's patience, right? Because you want that dream. And what is the dream? Calling those things which be not as though they were. So if you're calling those things to you, the law of attraction, as Deb said, law of attraction is also patience. So don't dismiss the steps. Don't dismiss the mechanisms. Don't dismiss the routine, right? Talk it out. And if you already know, then I'm, like Deb said, I'm here to push. I'm here to make you accountable. I'm here to work with you on your dream so that fruit may abound in your account. It's all for you because you're already exploding. You're already there. The dream is right around the corner, right? If you have an ice cube, and I'm talking in Fahrenheit, if you have an ice cube, it'll stay cold and frozen at 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 degrees, even 31. At 32, that's when it starts getting cool. So go to that extra degree, go up that extra degree, because that's where the change happens. You want to change, so then change the way you think, change the way you work, change, and then you will get that change because you've switched that mindset. You turned up the heat. Literally turned up the heat.
That is so important that you talk about that it's a process. I mean, we live in a very quick time. And I think talking to Caroline's mention about teenagers, getting them to understand in this world of technology, I'm going to sound old when I say that, but honestly, it's that everything moves so fast, or you see these instant millionaires or these billionaires, or the word six-figure earner is on social media so much. It's like, become a six-figure earner, take my course, take my 3-week, take my weekend workshop and have six-figure multiple stream of income. Come on, right? That just sets people up for not feeling like they're going to be able to do it, or that everything is a sales thing. And it's not. It's like, I'm sure who's ever talking about that can get people there, but that process and how much support you got while you're doing that, right? Having someone alongside you is so important through that process, because I would imagine, Marleen, I mean, there's people that when you're going through that next, that form of clarity, stuff comes up for people. You need someone that you can trust, that you can talk to, like, oh, guess what, my kids this weekend, or oh, guess what, my partner this weekend, or oh, guess what, and keeping them on course no matter what distraction, and keeping them along that timeline. Because man, are we ever getting downloaded on, you can have the dream of your dreams in 30 days or less. Just take my course and you could be on my boat drinking martinis too. So I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Just there it is.
No, but
Lucky you get to work with that.
I think that you're addressing a very important thing that is happening right now. And I know because I tend to get wrapped up in it. And I also have teenagers, young adults, but it's the leap of faith. Everyone is talking about the leap of faith. And especially like in the beginning of the year, you hear it so much with weight loss program and blah, blah, eat whatever you want for Christmas. It's okay. In January, I'll give you a 15-day program. You'll lose 60 kilograms, you know? It's like, it's all things that are leap of faith. And I think that if it would really be like this, we could do it ourselves, because you can stay accountable to yourself for 15, 20 days. Even that, we're such an textable society, but I'm saying let's be positive and optimistic. But I mean, life is not a leap of faith. Yes, sometimes you do need to take some leap of faith, but I mean, you won't get your results instantly. It's just not like that. Sometimes dealing with the mundane is the hardest thing to do. And it is what will bring you to your next accomplishment. And sometimes that accomplishment is like, ooh, I got 2% increase. Yay. But you know what? To get to 1,000% increase, it has to start by 2%. And it's funny because I do want to say a little anecdote on that. I was talking with my daughter who will be 13 in like a week or so. And there was 25 cents on the ground. We were walking. I remember, like, for me, we would never leave a penny on the ground. We see 25 cents and I'm like, pick it up. She's like, ew, I'm not touching that. I'm like, you can wash your hands after. And she's like, ew, no, it's only 25 cents. And I'm like, how much does it take to make $1? She's like, 4, but $1, what are you going to do with that? And then I'm like, well, you need $100 to make, a brown bill for Canadian and blah, blah. But it's just to tell you, like, how now the little things, it's more of a society of like, oh, don't bother with the little things, go for the big things. But all of the big things are made of those little things, and that's why having a coach is so crucial. So Marleen, I want to ask you a question. Like, what gave you the idea of bringing people on the journey with you? I assume you got stuck at some point, and I assume you felt the experience or whatever, and you got unstuck and said, I really want to make people feel what I felt. Give us a bit of the story there.
Absolutely. So if you recall from the last time, I'm in law still. And the collapse that I went through repeatedly, right? Because I'm female, because I'm a person of color, because XYZ. So again, I can't control that, but I can change it. There's that word again, change. I can change it. So when you come to me with the coaching, we're going to change that situation, because I know you don't want to be stuck anymore, right? Because if you do, how's that been working for you? How's that been working for you? It has not been working for you. So you already know something needs to be done. So let's get out this microwave 10 seconds and a tear. Let's go through the process, because it is a process. So what I want people, the audience, to really understand, it's work, it's patience, and it's progress. So as much as I'm saying it's work, it's not just labor. You're not laboring for nothing, because you're going to see progress even during the coaching, even during, right? So when we celebrate, it's massive. It's huge, because, and dare I say, and I'm saying it right now, we will literally be celebrating together, because I'm going to have my law degree. You're going to have your business. You're going to found this. You're going to whatever. Let's have a party, and let's keep on partying, because the work doesn't end there, because there's multifaceted dreams. It's not just one dream. it's one vision, but the vision could have many layers. So let's work on that. And that's another reason to work with me, because I'm not looking at just one aspect. I'm looking at your whole timeline of what you wanted forever. Why can't you get it? Let's work on it. And I'll show you how to get it.
I love that, because you know what, as someone who has had to justify many times to people, because I've just now said to people, I'm not a businesswoman, I'm a creative. So stop asking me why I'm doing more than one thing, because there's this way of thinking that I want this, and I'm pointing forward for those of you that can, like, I want this, and this could be like, for me, if someone said, so what is your purpose? I'm in service. I know 1000% that I am in service. Boy, do I know I'm in service. But where do I choose to be in service, and how does that show up? And I love how you think, because when I talk to people about doing coaching or therapy or counselor, or whatever, it's not been a 3 months, 6 months. It's like, as I've moved along, there's people that I have followed for a very long time. There's people that I've worked with for a very long time. And you can have a few different projects going on that have this same undercurrent of your vision. So it's like, your vision doesn't have to be one thing. Your vision doesn't have to be one thing. It could mean something. Like for me, it's like service. So how does that show up? It can show up in 2 or 3. That's why this whole idea of when people are creating multiple streams of income, I think if the multiple streams of income serve you in your ultimate vision or purpose. And now there's some people that do one thing and rocket, you go, right? And then there's people like me that are like, maybe you should just focus on one thing. And I'm like, maybe you should just bleep, so maybe you should sleep. But I'm going to tell you, for a long time, it made me feel like a misfit, made me feel like there was something wrong with me, made me feel like I couldn't focus, made me feel like I wasn't doing my business right. So I am so, honestly, and I got to tell you, we have interviewed a lot of coaches, and no one has introduced themselves as an inspiration coach. No one. And I am so excited about that, because isn't that what we need? Isn't that what we want? Information and inspiration. Like, oh my gosh, anyways, that's, I just thought I'd throw that out there. I don't have a question for you. I just wanted to acknowledge that the things that I'm hearing in this interview are rare. They're rare. Caroline?
That's awesome. So we'll review your coaching after about how to interview people, but until we do that, no. But I also like, when we were talking pre-interview, Marleen was explaining how she inspires people, and when you get stuck, and then I was joking that I was getting stuck, and she's like, well, when you're overwhelmed, and then we started having this discussion about, oh my goodness, overwhelm. This word is so done. So done. It's just like the word busy, like, how are you? Busy. What are you doing this weekend? Oh, busy. Like, busy is just like a color or another word now. And it's becoming the same thing with overwhelming. And Marleen, you brought a different spin to that word. And I'm going to let you introduce it, because, both Deborah and I thought it was a pretty cool, yeah, go ahead.
So are you talking about the collapse? Are you talking about the plateau?
Yes. When someone, instead of like, oh man, I feel so over, right? It's like, I feel like I've collapsed. Mm-hmm. And how do you bring people back from that? Or what are the tools that you can share with people to get them out of that state?
Okay, well, let me how do you say it? Let me
address.
Clarify.
Let me set the scene. That's what I'm trying to say, right?
All right.
Let's say, because this happens to me all the time. I don't know about you ladies, but this happens to me all the time, because I like to run, right? Or even walk. And I always trip on a level of the sidewalk that's a bit higher or whatever. So I've fallen, right? I'm hurt. Somebody. So I want you to think about when you're stuck, and you will be, if you're not stuck already, of you being on the ground because you've fallen, because you've tripped or whatever, and you automatically looking for people to help you up. So I want you to imagine me extending my hand and say, yeah, let's do it. And as I'm pulling you up, I'm also encouraging, yeah, you can do it. Absolutely. There's nothing stopping you. Don't be your own blessing blocker. Come on, come on. So by the time I get you up, you're already, all right, let's do this. You're already inspired to do it. You're already encouraged. So that's my coaching style. It's not just like Deborah said, oh yeah, in 20 days, the money will be rolling in. I'm not 20 days. I'm like, let's do this holistically. Let's look at the whole picture because you want the whole picture. So let's look at it piece by piece, segment by segment, step by step to get you to the whole picture.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love, and you talked about this in your first interview when you were putting this program together, and both I and Caroline know the heart and the intent of when you've built this program. And the intent is obviously for people to have that explosive celebration type of achievement, because I love how you talk. You know what? The one thing that I have to commend you on is that as you are talking about people in the third party, as we're doing that, you are using the affirmations behind your words. So, you talk to some coach, well, let's just work on the problem. Let's just find a solution. You just said, let's just remove the fact that you are your own blessing blocker. I mean, when's the last time? So next, Caroline, the next time I'm having a little, and you're just like, excuse me, I think you're actually your own blessing blocker in this. Just the affirmations and the words that you use make you feel good, even if you feel like crap. Just gonna say it. I can imagine lying on the ground and going, I feel like crap, and I see you coming along. I'm like, I actually feel pretty good here. I don't feel so bad that I'm here, right? And you're like, yeah, you and everybody else. Like, let's go, So I really have to commend you. And was there anyone in your life that inspired you to think like that? Like, how did you come up to being such a positive? I mean, you're just a positive force. That's all I got to say. Like, who do you go to? Who do you call on? Who's your inspiration? Where did that come from?
My dad, 100% my father. He will and has moved things for me, has done things for me, has inspired me and put things, he has worked 3 jobs just so that he can pay for law school, because FYI is not cheap, right? So it's my dad. It really is my father. Like, that's my backbone. And he's always telling me, what are you waiting for? Why are you waiting? What? I'm like, Daddy, just do it, I said. I'm like, yes, Daddy. So I want to be like my dad, but I want to also be personable. If you're coaching with me, I really want to know what's going on with you. I really want to know what's going on with your kids. I really want to know how you're doing, if you're sick or whatever, because I'm that type of person. And I'm going to switch it to the business because I care about your business. I care that you're not making the money you want or even need because of X, Y, Z. I want to put this all in the spin. If I go back to Caroline's point of doing another coaching for teens, the reason I say professionals is because that's my niche market right now. Right now, my niche market. But I will do teens because I am talking about going back to childhood. Because when you're a child, when you're a teen, do you not have your dreams? Do you not already know or think you know that you want to be an astronaut? And I say astronaut because just yesterday, April 19th, guess what? Oh, look, we can move to Mars. Where does it has landed? The the rocket has landed on Mars. I was like, oh, isn't that interesting? Don't know what you do there, but right? So, but for that to be on the news, and then you have the teens and the preteens saying, see, I told you, Mom, I could be an astronaut. See, we're going to Mars. So I'm here to push you to do that because nothing is stopping you, right? We're
Absolutely.
Mars, if you haven't heard, we're going to Mars. So why?
Yeah.
Well, that makes me realize I need to watch the news a bit more because I do not watch the news. But see, some people tell me sometimes, like, how can you go about life without watching the news? I hear all of the news just a day late without the details. But what I like about your style as well, Marleen, and I, for me, the people that inspired me the most in life, and the ones who were my greatest mentors, is people who actually believed in me, even when I wasn't believing in myself. And it's exactly what I saw and heard when you were just like, you'll be on the sidewalk and I'll hold your hand to get up. Because when you're at that point, like if you put that metaphor, it's like you're on the ground, I'm standing, I'll tell you, like, come, stand with me, even if you don't see yourself there, like, so it's really believing in people before or while they're trying to believe in themselves, because I think that a huge part of being stuck or a huge part of not being fulfilled is not believing in all of our potential. And that's what your dad is telling you to, like, why are you not doing it? Go, because he sees that you have it in you. And we do that with a lot of people. We do that with friends. Deb will tell me that sometimes. I will tell her that. Like, we doubt ourselves, and we need an external person to say, no, you have it. And you're like, no, I don't have it. And you almost argue with someone that you don't have it. And they're like, no, you do have it. So that's what I really like about your style, I have to say. So Marleen, if people want to take advantage of your amazing coaching, how would they reach you?
They will email me directly at Marleen, that's Marleen, marleenredhead.com. That's my business email.
I should say, sorry, I assume you made a little mistake here. Marleen at marleenredhead.com.
Yes, is that not?
You said Marleen dot, so it's an at, because it's an email address.
And Marleen is spelled a little different. Marleen, you just said.
Yes.
Yeah, so people may spell it the other way. So
awesome. Well, I really encourage everyone to contact Marleen. If anything, you will meet an amazing person. So it's super worth it. And I really think it's going to help you move to the next step. Deb, as always, I'm going to let you have the closing word because I know you like that.
Oh, there it is. Marleen, we've been waiting the whole show. I'm like, where's the pot? Where's the pot getting thrown? You know what? I mean, the only thing that I really want to wrap up and say is that, we're kind of in some funky times. Some businesses are exploding. Some businesses are not. Some people are up. Some people are down. It's been an emotional time in the world. I think that right now everybody needs a friend, and I think right now everybody needs a professional friend, right? That you can kind of get real with. And so whether you're not feeling that you're at a critical mass point, I think sometimes we don't know how good we can be if you've never had someone walk alongside of you, right? And so for someone like Caroline, who talked about taking information and being able to do it herself. And I know that Caroline's had, lots of input from many different avenues. And so there's a big difference. And honestly, I think that it takes a lot of energy and effort to keep your head above water right now with what's happening in whatever country that you're in, right? And so my encouragement is to reach out. And the one thing that I love specifically about Marleen's style is that it's contagious. And so that happiness, that joy, that inspiration, I think we need more inspiration than coaching right now than ever. And I think don't deny yourself. Don't deny yourself. Really evaluate where you're putting your dollars, right? I'm a big believer in nutraceuticals. I'm a big believer in coaching. I'm a big believer in, you don't need another pillow, people. You don't need another jacket, okay? Right? You don't. Spend it on yourself. Self-care. Treat yourself well. If that means going and buying yourself a beautiful jacket, then that's okay. But reach out and put yourself in a really strong support circle. Spend your time, energy, effort, and money there, because we're in for the long haul, right? And I think we just all need to keep up in that happy place. The world needs 1,000 of you. So glad that we've been able to build a friendship with the one of you. And so excited to see how this is going to go. I know we're going to have a future interview because that's just what we do, right? So thanks for being a powerful beacon, my friend.
Yes. Thank you so much, Marleen, for being with us. And any last words, Marleen?
I just want to thank you both, ladies. This has been amazing. And so again, just to make sure that the emails is correct, MARLEEN at MarleenRedhead.com, just to make sure everybody gets it correct. Thank you.
Awesome. So have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.